Hello everyone. Today we are excited to share our insight on intercultural communication by comparing traditions from different cultures. Our discussion will focus on how culture, customs shape communication, values, and even language. By understanding these differences, we can improve our ability to communicate across cultures. So there are two parts in our presentation today. The first one is conversation between different cultures. The second one is Q&A question. So now we will organize a conversation to let you have a deeper understanding about the differences between cultures. We will begin with wedding tradition, then move to cultural celebration, and finally discuss these traditions' influence. Let's start with a unique Vietnamese wedding tradition.
Hey, I just went to a wedding and it made me think about how different wedding traditions are in the US and Vietnam. In the US, the bride's father traditionally walked her down the aisles, which a really emotional moment where he gave away the bride as a symbol of his blessings and support. It got me curious. Do you have something similar in Vietnam?
Actually, in Vietnam, especially in North Central, the tradition is a bit different. So the bride's mother doesn't go with her to the groom's house because it's believed that a mother's presence could bring sorrow, and a wedding are supposed to be joyful and full of happiness. And we believe that it's more about a peaceful, calm transition for the bride rather than a highly emotional and tearful moment. And it's not that the mother doesn't support the marriage, but it's just part of the tradition is to keep a mood light and positive.
Wow, that's really interesting. Um, but if a Vietnamese bride were married an American groom, I could see how his family might feel confused if her mother doesn't attend or participate in the ceremony. They might think she rejecting the marriage or isn't happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that misunderstanding could definitely happen, but it's important to understand that in that region, the mother staying behind isn't a sign of disapproval. It's just a way to protect the couple's happiness and maintain peace. And once both sides understand the cultural reasons, it will make a lot more sense. But explaining that is the key to avoiding hurt feelings.
That's a really key point. It just shows how important it is to understand the cultural meaning behind certain traditions to avoid misunderstanding, right?
So what about Easter? I know it is important, but I don't really understand its traditions.
Well, Easter is a Christian holiday that usually falls in March or April. It celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is a key event in Christianity. But beyond its religious significance, Easter is also a time for fun tradition, especially for kids. People decorate eggs, go on Easter egg hunts, and enjoy chocolate bunnies. Family also gather for festive meals, often featuring dishes like roast lamb, ham, or hot cross bun.
Easter egg hunts must be exciting for children. In Vietnam, our biggest holiday is Tết or Lunar New Year. We celebrate it in late January or February. It's the most important time of the year for family reunion, honoring ancestors, and welcoming a fresh start.
That's amazing. I have heard that family clean their homes before Tet to remove bad luck and invite good fortune for the coming year. It sounds like a beautiful way to start fresh. Are there any special tradition just for kids?
Yes, one of the most exciting traditions for children is receiving lucky money or lisi in red envelopes from elders. It's a way to share blessing and good luck for the new year, kind of like getting gifts on Easter. Families are also prepare special foods like bánh or bánh tét, which are traditional rice cakes wrapped in banana leaves. People will visit temples to pray for a prosperous year, spend time with our loved ones, and watch colorful fireworks celebrations.
That sounds incredible. Even though Easter and Tet are very different in their origins, they both bring families together and remind people to appreciate what they have. They seem to share a spirit of joy, renewal, and togetherness. I would love to experience that one day.
Okay, so what is a stereotype exactly? And when thinking about it, I mostly think is most of them are negative. Is that true?
Basically, a stereotype is a generalized belief about a particular category of people. It is an expectation that people might have about everyone in a specific group. Stereotypes are not always negative, they can also be neutral or positive.
Okay, actually, they often lead to misunderstanding, biases, or discrimination. For instance, it can lead to unfair treatment, like for women being overlooked for leadership role because they are stereotyped as being too emotional for decision making.
Oh, actually, in Vietnam, there's a common stereotype that people from Haiphong are aggressive and quick-tempered. They think people in Haiphong would still choose violence over talk and are often hateful, discriminate against us, and keep their distance. This stereotype has been going on till today. It happened to me and all the students when going to college or traveling to all the province.
Yes, I have seen a stereotype which is often associated with Spain. That Spaniards are often seen as being overly big or lazy, particularly in comparison to other European countries. This stereotype suggests that people in Spain are lack of sense of urgency, especially in business or work environments. In reality, I think it's just a simplification and doesn't capture the hardworking nature of many Spaniards who balance their work and personal life in different ways depending on their profession and lifestyle.
Well, so I can see that what is happening right now around us is still just a small aspect in our life, and we are continuously exposed to different cultures and prejudice.
So that's all about our conversation. So now is Q&A questions. So Hami, what cultures, values, norms, or tradition are reflected in the stories?
Well, the stories reflect a variety of cultural values and traditions, such as the importance of family, respect for ancestors, and different emotional expressions during significant events. For instance, in Vietnamese wedding tradition, there is a focus on a peaceful tradition rather than emotional displays, with the bride's mother staying behind as a symbol of protecting the couple's happiness. In contrast, American weddings embrace open emotional expressions, with the father giving away the bride to symbolize support and blessing. The cultural holidays like Tet or Easter emphasize family bonding, gratitude, and celebration, showing how different societies balance joy, reflection, and spirituality. Additionally, the discussion of stereotypes highlights the values of understanding individuals rather than making assumptions based on cultural generalizations.
Okay, so this is my questions. Long, did any part of the story challenge your preconception or stereotype?
Well, so The Vietnamese wedding tradition about the bride's mother staying behind challenges the preconception that weddings should always involve the mother's presence. So, as I grew up in Hanoi, I had assumed that the absence of a mother at a wedding might symbolize conflict or rejection, but the story explained that it's a Vietnamese cultural practice to protect the couple's happiness. And this misunderstanding between the Vietnamese bride's family showed how traditions can be misinterpreted without a proper understanding.
Okay, so what similarity or differences are surprised you the most, Billy?
Well, despite different customs, all the holidays bring people together for meaningful reflection, whether it's gratitude like um, Easter and honoring ancestors like that. The differences in how this holiday are celebrated stood out too, especially the spiritual practice during that in Vietnam, compared to the more commercial aspect of Easter in the US. The blending of spirituality with family traditions in that was particularly interesting.
So I want to ask that how do the above stories help you develop intercultural competence?
Actually, this story enhances intercultural competence by emphasizing the importance of understanding the context behind different traditions and customs. By learning to explain the meaning behind our cultural practices, we can avoid misinterpretations and engage more effectively with people from different backgrounds. These stories encourage an open mind, empathy, and communication as tools for fostering understanding in intercultural interaction.
So that what would you do differently if you were to repeat this experience?
Okay, if I were to repeat this experience, I would encourage more direct communication between individuals from different culture to clarify and explain the meaning of certain tradition and custom. This would help to prevent misunderstanding and foster mutual respect. And I would also suggest focusing on more personal experience to make the exchange tradition even more relatable and impactful as well.
So, what's the guesses would you give if this activity were to be repeated the year fine?
I think for next year, I would suggest including more interactive elements such as role playing or scenario discussions where participants can simulate real life situations involving cultural misunderstanding. It would also be useful to incorporate more diverse cultural perspective to enrich the conversations. Additionally, I recommend including a segment on how to navigate intercultural communication in a globalized world, focusing on practical strategies to avoiding misunderstanding and building empathy across countries.
So, to conclude, our discussions has shown how deeply culture influences the traditions, emotions, and even language. Through comparing wedding customs, celebrations like Tet and Easter, and how this impact communications, we have learned that intercultural competence requires both knowledge and understanding. By embracing this practice, we can enhance our ability to connect with people from different cultures and communicate with greater sensitivity and respect. So, thank you for listening.